Hello, hello, hello. My name is Sean Cacaro alongside Vinny Mascol for a brand new episode of SNV Sports WWE Edition as we are getting caught up as we are returning to action here on YouTube. We have a lot to talk about, Vinny. I'd ask
Oh,
you
a
what you
ton
want
of
to talk
ton to
about,
talk
but
about.
I'll ask you what you want to talk
What
about,
do
but I
you
think it's
want to
pretty
talk
obvious
about?
where we should start.
Okay, Cody. Even though I know you're not a big Cody fan,
No,
you did
I'm
it.
uh,
You did
I'm
it.
Team Bloodline.
You
But
did it.
let's talk about actually, let's talk about Cody Rhodes. So we're gonna
Mhm.
start. We're gonna stick to how we normally do things. We're gonna talk about this past week's Raw and SmackDown because we got a lot to talk about. And we're gonna do again. It may not just be these particular episodes. We're gonna try to get caught up on a little bit of everything. I know it's been a couple weeks. Let's
Mhm.
start off with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, basically, and their storyline because their storyline has been very interesting so far from their side of the main event. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about, we saw the Rock concert return a week ago, which was amazing. I think the Rock, I was
Yeah.
very doubtful about how the Rock's heel turn was going to be. I'm starting to love it. I really am. Um, but give credit to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is hanging right there with the Rock in terms of the promos
Uh,
and everything. I
I'm
thought his promo on Monday was fantastic. And again, this coming from somebody who does not like Cody Rhodes, I can appreciate how
you
great that
know,
promo was.
I I don't know if you watch Busted Open, and I'm taking this from Bubba Ray.
I've been getting a little frustrated with them. I haven't been listening to them
Bully
lately.
Ray said something that kind of resonated with me about Cody, and I kind of agree with him a little bit. Outside of the four curse words that he said, what else did you like about his promo?
So what I liked about his promo is the fact that he attacked The Rock's character. I like where you're going with that because there
Mhm.
was a lot of heat that was thrown The Rock's way about being able to do stuff other wrestlers can't. But
Right.
he mocked The Rock's character. The Rock says he's the final boss.
Yeah.
He
Well,
stands for family. When meanwhile Cody Rhodes
mhm.
is questioning where his loyalty is, calling him Roman's side chick. Is he really? Are they really in alliance? So I
Right.
like the fact that it's not just oh hey
But that
you're a
came later. That came on Friday. This was on Monday, though. We're talking. I'm talking about
no
the
he called
Monday.
Roman he called the Rock the side chick on Monday.
Well, that was Monday.
That
Okay.
was
Okay.
Monday.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But
that was
but
Monday.
but look at what Dustin Rhodes said in his post.
Yeah, he said F the
F
Rock, right?
you rock.
Yeah,
That to me was a little bit more. If you say something about my mom
yeah,
and you tell, I mean, Bully Ray said it perfect. You gotta go out fire and brimstone.
yeah.
You can't say, well, since we've already, I've mentioned my mom. My mom's open for no. Your mom's not.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom, you if you had a girlfriend and you go on there, is your girlfriend open for, you know,
Trash talk.
for trash talk? No,
Right.
no. So I wanted to see fire and brimstone Cody. I don't know if he has it in him.
He's getting there. I'm truly thinking we're starting to see a Cody gone rogue
And if you remember
situation.
the best promo he had, if you remember what Dave LaGreca said, was the promo against Dustin Rhodes in AEW
Mm-hmm.
when he like literally like just basically took Dustin's lunch in that promo.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even a promo. It was like not even it was like before AEW really started. I mean, it was like early in the
Yes.
inception. I wanted to see more, man. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
see a little more than what I got.
Okay.
Now this weekend, now Friday was a different story. Friday I liked.
Which we'll get
Friday
to.
Friday I liked, but talking about Monday night, I don't know. I gotta side with Bully Ray on that one. I
Mm-hmm.
I, I think it was um as a promo, it wasn't. I don't know. I was expecting maybe a little more because
Mm-hmm.
when you call out somebody's mom, you know, Dustin had the right
Yeah.
tone.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So
Cody, on the other
yeah.
hand, not really. So
Well, and again, I agree that he did step up on Friday, and you do bring up a point, but um, are we forgetting too? He didn't he technically? Well, yeah, I get he did talk about the Rock's mom, but in the most respectful way possible.
yeah,
So
he
I don't even know that
respect.
we could really
Right,
say
right.
he went after her.
But you don't even have to go after his mom.
Mhm.
You just have to go after him.
Him. Yeah, I agree.
I'm not even talking about going after his mom, and then, the way, and yeah, maybe he was a little, I mean,
See, this was to me the perfect spot to go after the family. Because if you remember on the
yeah,
kickoff event, he said,
I agree with
"How
that.
is it a family? Where's Jay?"
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, he hasn't really talked about, how there was
Well,
question of allegiance between the
he needs to
family.
mention the fact that The Rock said, "My grandfather, the High Chief,
Yeah,
I believe in the bloodline, the High Chief is
yeah.
higher than the tribal chief."
Well, and the one
So
thing too,
there you
nobody's
go.
talking about it, although Seth kind of alluded to it. Nobody's talking about this, how The
Yeah,
Rock's doing this.
yeah, yeah.
Has The Rock really acknowledged Roman Reigns if he's not
Well,
putting up the
and we'll
one?
talk about that about Friday if allegiances work out, what's
Yes,
gonna happen,
allegiance
because
was the big thing Friday, and that's why I love the match.
Friday was the big thing.
And we'll get to that. But
Yeah,
sticking with Raw, I also want to talk about a couple other things. We'll stick within the bloodline. We saw Jay and Jimmy.
yeah.
Pretty much, it is confirmed that Jimmy,
You
what was it?
called it,
Jimmy
man.
accepted the.
This was your deal. You called this one. You
Yes, I
called
did.
this one back, last year, I believe,
Yeah.
right
Well,
before the
I thought it was
holidays.
going to be at a different pay per view, but nonetheless, Jimmy accepted Jay's challenge, and we saw Cody Rhodes come out and help Jay after he was attacked by, I believe it was Drew McIntyre, if I remember
Yep.
correctly.
Yeah.
And
I'm tired of Drew McIntyre, by the way. Getting
well,
tired of
well,
him.
all right, we'll talk about
Until
that. But
yeah, until I see him versus CM Punk, I'm not really interested in
well,
Drew.
what was interesting about this is Jay gets attacked. Cody Rhodes comes out to save the day. And this is
Mhm.
another thing that I called. How is Jay going to get involved? Because you look at the bloodline right now, it
You
was
gotta get
4
Jay
on 2.
involved. You're right.
It was
You're right.
4 on 2.
Mhm.
You had the bloodline and it was Cody and Seth. Somebody else was going to have to step in. Somebody else still may have to step in because it's still 4 on 3,
Right.
pending The Rock's allegiance, wherever that may lie.
Right.
So this was the perfect setup to get him involved, and this was the perfect setup for Friday's episode. So
Yep.
I loved everything about it.
Mhm.
And Jay's still getting that main event spotlight while still getting the match he dreamed of as a kid. Him
Mhm.
and Jimmy both getting that dream matchup. So
Yep.
I don't have
Brother
too much
versus brother.
takeaway from it, but I thought it was a great segue for Friday. I
It
really
was.
do.
It was. I agree. This was like, and I'll give you 100% credit on this. You are, I don't know, what do you want to call it,
Sorry. Acknowledge me,
soothsayer.
wise man.
You had a crystal ball, whatever it was, you saw this coming. Um, this was huge. This is huge, man. This is like the the way they're doing the bloodline storyline. I don't care what anybody says. This has been the best storyline I've seen in years.
And I
This
forgot to
whole
mention this
storyline itself.
when we were talking about Cody. One of the other things that they perfectly set up for Friday was the demands to have
Mhm.
nobody there on
Nobody
Friday,
there, yeah,
one on
yeah.
one.
Well, you kinda saw,
We all
kinda
knew that
knew, you
everyone was going to
knew
be
that
there,
everybody's gonna be
but
there.
it
Right,
was
right.
still a good promo because
I
you
agree.
demanded it,
I
you
agree.
got it until you didn't,
I agree.
if you know what
I
I
agree,
mean.
100%. I agree
So that's the
100%
other
with
thing I
that.
did forget to mention, which was good. So, like you said, this Bloodline storyline is being crafted. It, it's I don't want to say perfect because there
It's not
obviously
perfect. There was a few things in
there's a few
between
things
that,
that it could be better,
you
but
know, yeah.
I'm not going to complain. I'm really not. I mean,
I mean, I
I
didn't wanna see Brock Lesnar for, like, the 80 millionth time. But,
but
I
what
mean, now
what
that they're not mentioning him, I
what's
guess,
interesting about this is how much better I feel about this compared to where I did a year ago,
mhm. Yep.
where it wouldn't have made sense for Cody to win last year because you still had a full bloodline story to tell.
Right.
Um, Obviously, Sammy had a story to tell too. This year
Mhm.
just feels different. I was dreading going
Yeah, but
into WrestleMania last year,
this
knowing Roman
storyline
was going to
affected
lose.
so many different people, though. It affected Sammy and
Yeah,
Kevin Owens, and it brought them back together again. I mean,
mhm.
it was
And look at it now. You were
it's
able
brought
to
The
bring.
Rock back in, right.
And
I
who
mean,
would have thought that The Rock
it's
could
an
make the
amazing
story
storyline.
10 times better? Last year, we were wondering, what's The Rock? Why do we need The Rock there? Now,
Yeah.
it's not only a perfect segue for Cody to finish his
Mhm.
story, but it's a perfect segue for WrestleMania 41
Right.
because you
Right.
could still have Rock and Roman. And I think honestly by next year, people will accept that match because of how they're building it up. It's a
Yeah.
lot better than what I think everybody envisioned the Rock and
No,
Roman to
I
be.
definitely
Who would
didn't.
have
I
ever thought
definitely
we'd
didn't see this
see
happen.
Rock and Roman Reigns teaming up together?
Yeah,
That's a
but
dream I never saw.
here's the thing though. Did this work out the way that they wanted it to work out, or did it work out
I think it
differently
worked out better than they thought because
because the fans
well, and that's what
decided
I mean
that what they
is
wanted?
they probably had the initial setup like everybody thought. Oh, Rock wants to come back. We're going to create this dream match. There's going to be
Mhm.
respect amongst them. You know, it wasn't going to be your typical Roman cheap shots, this, that, and the other thing. It was going to be a true
Right,
battle of respect.
right,
But the fans wanted Cody, and they got
right.
Cody.
Well, and
I'm not
here's
gonna
the
lie.
thing about
I'm
that
upset we
too.
didn't get the match. I am. I'm
But
still
here's
not
the thing: if
happy.
you'd have gotten that match, that would have been another match that you couldn't have. The Rock wouldn't have won that match.
Oh, we know that. So, are
So
you saying?
here's a way to kind of spruce it up a little bit. I kind of was on the fence about that match. I was like, I don't know if I want to see it because then Roman wins again,
Yeah,
and
but that's the thing. Everybody, I
it's
think,
like,
saw Roman winning because they want him to pass Hulk
yeah,
Hogan's record. And again, it's not guaranteed Cody finishes his story.
yeah.
There's a lot of question marks
Few
regarding the
people,
story
few people
because
want to see him break Hogan's record. By the way,
yes,
so let you
I
know,
know.
a lot of people don't like Hulk Hogan. So,
So
uh,
there's still a lot of question marks. Um does The Rock truly help Roman win? You know, if the bloodline wins opening
telling you,
night,
it's going to be a Mike
there's a
Tyson
lot of X
situation
factors.
from DX, man. I'm telling you, this is what
I
it's going to
agree.
be.
But we still have to
But we
save
never
some of
know.
this. We still have to save some of this bloodline talk because we still got to talk
Yes,
about Friday. So
yes,
let's
we do.
move it along
Hmm.
to one other segment or one other thing I want to talk about from Friday. If you want to throw anything else in, you can. I want to talk
Right.
about the main event. Becky Lynch, Nia Jax. Now, this is a match I was
Oh, from
looking at
Monday. Oh,
thinking,
Monday. Okay, gotcha.
I was thinking to myself, all right, whatever. Oh,
Hmm.
let's put an end to this rivalry. And they did, but you know what? The match definitely exceeded my expectations. That was a
Good
pay-per-view
match.
quality match
It's
for
a good match.
a lot of great spots, a great ending to the match with the leg drop off the top of the ladder. I mean, overall, I can't complain about the match. I thought it was a great match. It was a
It was
perfect
a
end
very
to
good match.
their story. Um, yeah, we still have to figure out where Nia Jax goes from here, which I think we know where, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But
Right.
it was a great segue because Becky finished her story with Nia, and then Rhea came out. Now,
Hmm.
I was kind of hoping for a little bit more. I know I'm being a little picky here. It was a great segment. I'm not going to
Right.
deny that. I was kind of
Right.
hoping we could get a little more from that other than just the stare down and
Hmm.
some yelling at each other. I was hoping maybe we'd see the first shots fired, like say Rhea comes out and
Right.
hits her with a riptide or something like that. Maybe
Hmm.
I'm just I'm being too picky. I don't
Yeah.
know how you feel about it, but
Right.
I was hoping for a little bit more with between those two. But I thought in the end, when it came to the Becky Nia rivalry, it was a perfect end in my opinion. It was a great match. I say if I'm gonna rate the match out of 10, I'll go 9-2. Great match.
Yeah, it was a great match. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed as what they did with Rhea. By the way, Rhea, again, still, you don't know who people are going to root for in this match
I think
because
it's 50-50.
there are it's like remember when Cena was like kind of on the
Mm-hmm.
cusp of being like hated or
Yeah.
was hated by a lot of people. And people were like, "Let's go Cena. Cena
Cena
sucks."
sucks.
Remember that whole thing?
My
It's
favorite
gonna
chant.
be now people won't go as far as saying Becky sucks because like
No,
there's
it's
people
gonna be, and
that like Becky. It's gonna
we
just
kind of
be
saw it when
mommy versus Becky, you
yeah,
know?
when that's we kind of saw that at the kickoff event. Half the crowd
Mhm.
chanting "Let's
Yep,
go, mommy," the other half
yep.
chanting "Let's go,
And
Becky."
she's just become like kind of a folk hero to people. Like they like her, you
Yeah,
know? And they hate Dom. So,
that's
it's
the funny
like
part.
it's great. And I don't know. I love the match. I'd give it a 9.3, 9.4,
Mhm.
possibly 9.5.
Can't go 10 out of 10 because then it's the greatest match you've ever seen. We can't go
Yeah,
there.
you can't
But
go 10 out of 10. I wouldn't. I now
but
I
that's
will
a good
say
score. I learned from Barstool.
the Becky Lynch match that was a 10 out of 10 was Becky versus Trish Stratus in that cage.
That was a good match. Yeah, I
That
won't say
was
10 out of
amazing.
10. I
No,
won't say
I think
you
it's one
can't.
of the
So you're
top.
saying that's the best match you've ever seen?
Well, I mean,
That's how my
there's other
ratings
10
still
out of 10.
works.
There's other 10 out of 10
See,
matches
I
that I've
can't. You
given.
can't. To me, you can't do that because
I mean,
you
if okay,
set the
so if it wasn't a
standard.
10 out of 10, it was like a 9.9 out of
All
10.
right, all right. You don't watch Barstool, I guess. So.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Yeah, all right. That's I'm
One
using
bite,
my
everybody
logic
knows
from
the rules.
Barstool.
Yeah, I
One
know.
bite, everybody knows the rules, you know. Well, and Nia Jax
Uh,
can actually say that legitimately. After
yeah, no
I don't
kidding.
know who
Ooh.
saw the live event. I don't want to say incident, the live event segment from
Ugh,
Rhea and Nia Jax, but
yeah.
if you haven't, you might be living under a rock. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
talk about that too much because I don't want to get taken down. But that
Yeah. And by the way,
y'all are
just one
simps. That's what I'm
question to
gonna say.
go.
Y'all are
I'm
some
gonna
dirty
go. I'm gonna
simps.
go off the reservation here for a second. What are they doing with Candice LeRae?
Heel turn
Is she gonna
somehow.
fight? Is she gonna fight Indy?
Not at WrestleMania. That's probably like
Indy doesn't seem like she wants to do anything really.
I'm not really.
I don't want to see that
I'm
because
not interested in it. I don't think
Indy's
anyone
too
is.
but Indy's too like nice. She's like,
Hmm.
why did you
But
do that?
you could
Why
see
did
she
you do
doesn't
that?
want
Like,
to be a part of it. You could see how uncomfortable she was after their
yeah,
match with the
I don't know what
way
they're
she
doing to
won.
the isn't she like the something pixie Candice LeRae or something like
Something
that?
like that.
And now
It
she's
just
like
feels
being
like
this like,
filler story. That's
oh
all this
man.
is. It's like a filler story. And
I
even if
just
Lorray is heel, you're not
she's
going to
not
put
gonna
her in
make
a.
a difference but she's not gonna make a difference in the women's division at
No,
all.
she's not.
I don't even know why they're trying to give her a push,
I
really.
know. I
Honestly.
agree. I agree with
I
you
don't get it.
100%. I
I
don't
don't get it.
see. I don't get the point in it, but
Yeah.
maybe again, we shouldn't talk too soon because for all we know, Candice Ray down the line 2 years from now is
I
champion.
don't know.
So.
Maybe she's the next what's her name? Who's the girl that sided with Bray Wyatt?
Oh, Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss. I
Which
don't know. Maybe.
actually, that is some news. She did say she does intend to come back to wrestling soon.
Yeah,
So.
I'd like to see her back.
And
I'd
now
like
that
to
we
see her.
wrapped up Raw, actually, I do want to talk about Bray Wyatt a little bit before we do talk SmackDown.
Yeah, they got
April
this new
1st,
thing coming out. Yep.
a documentary is coming out. I'm a little
Mhm.
upset though, not necessarily that the documentary is coming out. I'm happy it's coming out, but it's rumored that it's because of this documentary that they're
Mhm.
delaying his Hall of Fame induction till next year. I'm a
Uh,
little irritated with
yeah,
that because I
yeah,
think supposedly it sounded like Peacock wanted to get that out before
yeah,
they made him a Hall of Famer, which is a
yeah,
little
yeah,
frustrating because right now it only makes sense to put him in now.
yeah.
Um, I'll be honest. I just got 2K24 like
They
2
did
days
some
ago.
good things with Bray Wyatt in that 2K game.
In
By the way.
that game, it's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah,
He really is. So
yeah.
I'm and I don't know if you know this, but on Raw and SmackDown, every time they promote this documentary, they have the
Uh-huh.
Fireflies out playing his
Yeah,
music.
yeah, yep, yep,
Rest in peace, Bray Wyatt.
yeah.
I'm
One of
still
the
upset he's gone.
one of the greatest creative wrestlers we've ever seen.
Yes. I
Definitely.
mean, the creation of the Fiend was.
Oh, it was amazing.
It's just a
Amazing.
shame. I think WWE ruined the Fiend. I think Vince McMahon somehow
Yeah.
got his
He
hands
had it.
involved on it,
He
and
had
he
his
ruined
hands
it.
in it too much. Way too
And
much.
it's a shame how it ended, but what a way it started, though.
Yeah. Oh
What a
yeah.
way it started.
For sure.
So again, April 1st, that'll be coming out. That'll be on Peacock. That's gonna be fun to watch.
That'll be good to watch.
We'll probably give a reaction to that too at
Yep.
some point. But I want to shift gears to SmackDown, the second half of our show, as a lot happened, and we are going to talk more Bloodline. But I want to get through the other stuff first before we get back to the Bloodline.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the Damage Control storyline because I know,
Yep.
to me, I know you're still highly invested, and I think fans still are to an extent.
I
To
am.
me, it feels like after the Rumble, it lost its luster a little bit when Dakota Kai joined forces with Damage Control and said, gave the finger to Becky. Basically, I know she didn't actually do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Um, it's interesting now. Naomi's involved, because she feels bad for Becky, and which makes sense because Naomi wasn't there when Damage
For
Control
Bailey, you mean Bailey.
for Bailey. Yeah, when Naomi wasn't there when Damage Control was running the place and they were heels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And then you have Bianca Belair who comes in and says, "Why are you defending them? You weren't here. You don't know what, Bailey's getting what she deserves, this, that, and the other
Yep.
thing."
Yep.
As a fan, who do you side with in this case? Because honestly,
It's
I
interesting.
kind of
That's why
side
I like it. That's
I
why
kind of have to side with Bianca because
you
Bianca's
do.
right.
You do. You do.
And the big thing for me is, do you think this could be leading to a Bianca heel turn?
And that's the thing. That's what makes it so brilliant. If it does, then there you go. There it is.
If it
And
does, you
then
have me won over.
and
Right now, I think
exactly.
it's hit like
But
a
I
point
think
where I'm
but
like,
but I think just the fact that you're wondering that
Hmm.
is the brilliance of it, really.
Hmm. It has you
Um,
thinking.
it has you thinking. And I've always liked Bailey since she came up in NXT. I've always thought, even I've always liked all the four horsewomen,
You're better than me
all
because
four
I'm
of them.
not. I was never the
I was
biggest Bailey fans.
I was always into Bailey, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte.
Hmm.
Probably bigger Charlotte fan than anything else, just because the ties to Ric Flair, things like
Yes.
that. Um, but as a character, I think Bailey is so good that she. I don't think. Here's the thing, though. I think she becomes off as a better heel because her personality is more like that.
Yes.
I don't think she can come off as a full turn babyface.
And it's funny because a couple years ago we were saying the complete opposite. None
Yeah,
of us could see her as a
yeah.
heel.
None of us could see her as a heel because she was the hugger, right? So,
Yes.
um, but see, that stuff got old to people. I think
Hmm.
that whole thing with the Bailey buddies and
Oh, that got
even
old a
though
long
even though
time ago.
even though I would love to see that, like, just
You're
once,
probably the only
one
person
night only,
that
just
wants
come
to see
back
that back.
with the Bailey buddies and her come out with the whole.
That's
I don't
like
think it'll ever
people
happen.
saying they want the Jey Uso
Uh,
dancing thing. Like you're probably the only person that's saying that.
but
I'm not
it was
mocking you. I
just
think it's
but it
funny
was
though.
but it's just so it was so I don't know. I just liked it. I liked it. I don't know.
Hmm.
Give me a hard time about it. I don't care, but I liked it. Maybe because I grew up in the '80s and, like, I was always growing up on these, like, cartoon wrestlers like Hogan and
Yeah.
Savage and the
Yeah.
the Ultimate Warrior, right?
Yes.
So, um, but there's just a brilliance to the storyline itself. I just love it. And who else are they going to bring in? Because you got to remember, there's four members of Damage Control,
Hmm.
and even if now and then if Bianca goes heel, I mean, what does that mean? Now then you got to
Well,
bring.
I
I
don't think
mean,
that means Bianca necessarily joins Damage Control.
no. I'm just saying, like, then you got to find two more people. I mean,
Well, I can give
what are
you
they going
one
to do?
name.
Damage Control.
I could give you one name.
Who?
I don't know if she's ready yet. I could see Charlotte getting involved.
Charlotte will get involved eventually, I think.
If she's
Charlotte,
ready, and that's
I've
one thing
said
we don't
that.
know.
I've wanted that for
Hmm.
the longest time.
But who else?
I want
Who,
her to team with Bailey for
hmm.
sure.
But then who
Um,
else is left that you could
the only
say,
other person that I would think would be Becky, but she's in a storyline right now.
yeah, with the Judgment Day, so it wouldn't really.
But I think maybe after this whole thing is over, maybe the whole after the Judgment Day thing is over, after her and maybe after WrestleMania, we'll see it.
Hmm. We'll have to
Maybe
see. Maybe Jade Cargill. We
maybe
still have to
Jade
wait and see.
Cargill.
And actually, I'm gonna just pretty much segue that right into our next
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Jade Cargill has officially signed to SmackDown
She will make
um,
her debut Friday.
this upcoming Friday. So
Mhm.
we'll definitely be ready to talk about that next week. Um, my question for you is, where does she go from here? Who will she face? Because it's believed that there's still four unnamed matches for WrestleMania, and I see this only going one direction,
I think,
and that's Nia Jax.
yeah, but I think in the beginning you're gonna see her do a Braun Breaker.
Hmm.
She's gonna fight a bunch of
Nobody's.
right.
I agree, but
You're gonna
I
see
think,
you're gonna see a ton of that showing
well, you
off
know
her
what I could see.
power and you
You
know,
say that, and I think it comes down to where there's just one match she's having. Nia
yeah.
Jax gonna come out because
I
remember,
I
Nia Jax was embarrassed at the
I
Royal
kind of
Rumble,
want to see her that. I want to see eventually Rhea versus Cargo,
and I
even though
think
I
that's
know they're
the
on.
end game for Rhea's
Yeah,
title
yeah, because I think this
story.
is. I don't think Rhea's seen this type of wrestler.
Yes, ever. The
Power,
closest you could say,
speed,
yeah, the closest you could
anything.
say was Raquel, and they kind of ruined that story.
And I will
So
tell you, Tiffany Stratton's still on my
yeah,
big
she's
board as
still there
being.
too. We got to see what
I
she
mean,
could do.
she came in this weekend. You saw her on Friday, right?
Yeah, to pick the most annoying time.
The most annoying
That's the
time,
thing.
right?
I like her character as a wrestler,
Yeah.
but as a person, she as
Oh yeah.
her
Well, yeah.
personality is very
She's
annoying.
your typical mean girl, dude.
She reminds
That's
me
what
of
she
like
is.
she kind of reminds. You remember the Iconics a couple
Yeah.
years ago? That's who she
Yeah.
reminds me of.
She took the place of Bailey, though.
Yeah.
She basically took Bailey's turn. She took the place of Bailey. She's
Mhm.
basically, I want to say a better Bailey, but she's not really.
Yes.
Not yet, at least. But I
Gotta wait
think she's a
though.
better. Unfortunately, I like to say I think she's a better technical wrestler than Bailey, because Bailey right now does not look. If you look at her technical wrestling side, I don't think she
Mhm.
looks that great
Right. I
in
agree.
in
I
the ring.
agree.
Um, I think Tiffany Stratton is off the charts as far as that goes. But we'll see what Jade Cargill's been working on. I
Yeah.
think
I can't wait to
um,
see.
again, power, speed, athleticism.
Mhm.
You're gonna see it
It's jacked.
all. You're gonna see it all.
Yes.
And I don't think Rhea's gonna be. I don't know if Rhea's ready for this. So
Mhm.
we'll
Which
see.
again, I agree. I think that's probably gonna be the end game for the story, whether it's at this year or if that's next year's WrestleMania. I kind of hope it's
Mhm.
not. I'd rather it be like SummerSlam, but we'll wait and
Yeah,
see.
yeah. The end
Um,
of the summer.
yeah, so we'll see. Which, by the way, is going to be in Cleveland this year. I don't know if you saw. Logan Paul announced that on his
You know what? I'm
podcast.
already sick of Logan Paul, but that might be a
Oh,
good.
me too.
That might be a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the Orton Logan Paul stuff's going a little. I don't know. Like
Well, I didn't think it. I
it needs
honestly
to.
didn't think it was going to turn into a triple threat. And I guess we
Yeah.
could talk about that a little bit too.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Are we gonna see now? Are we gonna see Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton instead? I don't know.
Well, and it's funny you say that because we
Because one
almost
of them
saw.
has to turn. One of them is gonna turn heel, I
Well,
think.
and we almost saw Randy RKO
Yeah.
Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
I don't know that even if Randy RKO's Kevin Owens, people are just going to cheer him. Do we
Yeah.
really
Oh
even
yeah,
say
they're
it's
gonna
going to be a
cheer.
heel turn?
If Randy goes heel, he's not gonna be a real heel. He's gonna be
No,
one of
because
those guys
people,
again.
yeah, that he's going to get cheered anyway.
Yeah.
Because we all know Randy's so much
Unless he
better
does something like to the points
heel.
of like when he was fighting against Triple H and he
Hmm.
like gave the
Something
RKO to
sadistic.
Stephanie, like
Yeah.
that was like,
I mean,
and
he
he
did
and
the
then
same
he
thing to Edge's
and then he
wife, Beth
yeah, and
Phoenix.
then he kissed Stephanie right in the middle of the ring, right in front of Triple H. That was
We're going way back now.
that was the greatest though.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
I don't think we'll see that,
We'll never see that
but
again. You're never gonna see that again.
yeah. Well,
No.
unless you go to a house show, as we
Oh
learned from
yeah,
last night. But
yeah.
um,
House shows
yeah.
are a little
So that
crazy.
that should be interesting. Again, I think even if they do try to turn Randy heel,
Yeah. He's
fans are
still
still
gonna be
gonna cheer.
liked. And I think maybe Triple H knows that though.
Yeah, he probably
I think
does.
they would have a better chance of turning Kevin Owens heel.
Probably, I could probably see that.
Yeah.
So then we'll shift gears. We have two more topics to talk about. Let's talk about the LWO.
Ah.
So we saw a match to open up SmackDown on Friday
Mhm.
between Santos Escobar, Rey Mysterio.
Yep.
By the way, very good match.
Very good
As
match. Very good match.
I thought it was a
Hey,
good
look,
match,
when luchadors get in the ring, man, it's always a good match. I don't care who it
and
is.
you wouldn't think Rey Mysterio is as old as he is the way he moves in the ring.
I
You
know,
just
but
don't.
Santos pretty much carried him that match. Pretty much,
Hmm.
you would think,
But
because he sold everything.
oh yeah,
Santos sold it all. I
I
mean, it
agree.
was pretty good. Now, off the thing, we didn't mention the other lucha in Raw, Charlotte Flair's husband,
Andrade. Oh, how he might
Andrade.
join
I don't think he's joining
Judgment Day.
Judgment. I don't think he's joining Judgment Day.
I didn't even really think of it because it's really not a major story
I
happening right
like.
now.
I really, really like him. I
They're
think he's
saving him for something. It's
yeah.
pretty
I
obvious
like
that
him.
they're saving
I
him
like
for
Andrade.
something. We'll
I
have to
really
wait
like
and
Andrade.
see. But
So
speaking of the
anyway, go ahead.
Judgment Day,
Yeah.
it was interesting. I was actually quite thrown off guard
To see Dominic.
when Dominic came in. Now, do I think this leads to Dom Ray too? I don't think so. Because
You
you have to have
know,
Santos Escobar involved. Every time they show his picture, he's got a WrestleMania logo behind him. You
yeah,
got to have it for
yeah,
something. So
yeah, yeah.
whether that means Los Storios versus the
Is it Santos?
LWO,
Is
I
it?
mean,
Well, wait a minute. Would it be Santos and Dom versus Ray and Carlito?
no, it wouldn't. Well, I don't think it'd be Carlito. It'd probably be the other kid. The I don't remember his name. The up and coming kid from NXT that's been helping him. I don't remember his name. He wears
Oh,
the mask.
Dragon Lee.
Dragon Lee, yeah.
Dragon Lee. Yeah.
I think that seems a little bit more likely.
Dragon Lee, huh? Well,
Um,
yeah, and Ray and Dominic's had his problems with Dragon Lee too.
yeah. So
So
I think that's the most likely scenario.
mhm.
Would I be mad if we had Ray versus Dom too? No. I do
Yeah,
because
no, I
look,
wouldn't mind
Dom
it.
is so much better now than he was a
I
year
want to
ago.
see Dom. I want to see Dom win and make a third match
I think the
eventually.
best way you go about it is if you have it as a retirement match, and Dom retires his father. I think that'd
That's
be a great story.
I think that would be how. So if you look at all the retirement matches we've had, the Flair, the Shawn Michaels, Undertaker kind of went out on his own thing.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately.
yeah, so yeah,
Which, by
that
the
kind of
way,
fits. That
as of
definitely fits in
recording,
the whole. Yeah.
as of recording, happy birthday to the Undertaker. When this gets
Yes,
uploaded,
that
it's
was
probably gonna be a
yesterday.
day later, but
Yesterday, right?
no, it's today.
Oh, is it today?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
today.
okay.
So as of
Happy
recording, it
birthday.
might be a day late, but happy birthday to the Undertaker.
Happy birthday, Taker. I have
You're not
watched him
singing, but
since I have watched him since the 80s,
it's
since he
actually
first came out.
rumored that he
Him
could
and
be
Paul Bearer.
he should be at WrestleMania this year because he's doing like a
The late
signing
great. Yeah.
uh at one of the places near the link. So
By the way, if you watched, did you watch any of the older Undertaker stuff back from the 80s?
a
Have you
little bit,
have you seen
a little
it's,
bit, not a
how
whole
he
lot.
looked back then was totally
Oh
crazy, like
yeah,
stupid. Like he looks so much better like later on in his
oh
career.
yeah, I
Like
agree.
the whole and I when I was a kid, the whole Paul Bearer Undertaker thing scared the crap out of me, but
Yeah,
it was still like it
and
came,
that's what was
and you
so
got to
cool.
remember it came from an episode of, I don't know if you don't remember, I don't think so, Brother Love. You remember Brother Love? I love
No,
you. Like that guy, they made him look like one of those televangelist guys. Look it up on YouTube. He came
I'll have
out
to.
he came out on an episode of Brother Love, the Brother Love show, I think it was called. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
um and nobody knew who he was, like nobody knew who he was, nobody, and then he just took off. Like it
hmm,
was like, and
right.
back then old school wasn't old school. It's
Yeah, yeah, I know what you
it
mean.
was new stuff, but yeah, so yeah, Undertaker.
Well,
I
and that's
recently saw an episode of there was an interview with Undertaker and Michelle McCool.
yes,
That
I
was
did.
very, 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 very cool.
Yes,
I
it
liked
was.
seeing that. I liked seeing that. So
Yeah, that was good.
yeah,
And I'll throw in a little bonus topic while we're at it, since we're on this topic.
yeah,
It is rumored that The Undertaker will be at WrestleMania.
yep.
Who that's with, we'll have to wait and see.
Hmm.
John Cena, which I think we all kind of see coming,
Hmm.
will be at WrestleMania. Which, by the way, since we haven't been on in a few weeks, what is John Cena up to with his shenanigans? Showing
Ricky
up at the
Stenicki, man.
Oscars
Ricky Stenicki. He's
naked,
doing that movie.
doing a movie.
All about the movie. It's all
I
about that movie.
I want to talk about his Instagram post today, but I can't because
Mhm.
I don't want to get in
The
trouble.
OnlyFans post, remember he said
He's on OnlyFans now, doing
OnlyFans, yep.
some weird things.
Yeah, yeah.
John Cena, get back in the ring. You don't know what you're doing with yourself. Do
Yeah,
you?
I don't know though, man. He didn't, I mean, I like John Cena, but I don't think he can, I
He
don't think
wants to go
he's as
another
good.
3 years. I agree with you.
I don't think he's as good as he used to be.
Oh, no, that's an obvious. But he wants to go
Mhm.
another 3 years. So,
He looks stiff. I
well,
don't know.
he's not a
And
young
if you're,
man.
and the one thing is, you know, Ric Flair always said, if you're stiff in the ring, you may as well not wrestle because you're going to get somebody hurt,
Well, he
and
probably should have
or you're
told
going to hurt
himself that
yourself.
later in his career.
You're going to hurt
I'm
yourself.
gonna
You're
put
going to
that
hurt
out there.
yourself. You're going to hurt somebody. You're
Yes.
going to hurt somebody else if you're that stiff. So
So we'll wait and see. We're gonna move on to our final topic on WWE, and that was the way SmackDown ended on Friday. Oh my goodness. I don't know why people were complaining about it. I thought it was a great segment.
I don't look at the complaints about that.
I heard a lot of people were upset. I don't know if it's because people got
I didn't
spoiled with
watch,
the Rock segment.
and I didn't watch Busted Open yet, so I don't know
I
what
think they
they
got
said
uploaded
about it.
today. So
Yeah, I don't
um,
know. I won't
I'll
know.
pretty much summarize how the thing went. You had Roman go back and forth. Roman called Cody stupid for trusting Seth, which is very,
Hmm.
very reasonable. Roman's been stabbed in the back by Seth before with
Yeah,
the Shield. And then Cody goes, "Oh, well, yeah, you think I forgot about the Shield? Who was the first ones to beat the Shield? Cody and
Cody and
Goldust.
Goldust, Dustin
Yes,
Rhodes.
they beat the
Dusty.
Shield first.
I can't believe I said
Yeah, I
Dusty. That
know.
was a slip. Ooh.
You're all good. We know
Oh
what you
wow.
meant.
Yeah.
Um, and Cody said, "Well, how do you know? Seth first off hates you more than he hates me.
Hmm.
Also, how
Yep.
can you trust The Rock?" Which I thought was a
Hmm.
very, very good
That's
point.
pretty telling. That's
That's
pretty
pretty
telling.
telling.
Yep.
And then Cody said, "May the best man win." Put his hand
Mhm.
out. Roman would not shake his hand, and he did something really cool. A lot of people have been comparing this story to the Avengers.
Mhm.
When Roman snapped his fingers, I was like,
Yeah.
"What? My goodness, this really is the end game." Because you had Solo and Solo and Jay come out. At
Mhm.
first, it looked like they were going to surround him like the Shield, but then
Yep.
they stand side by side with Roman,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden you have Jay and Seth come out of nowhere.
Yep.
I thought it was genius.
It
I
was
really
good.
did. I
That
don't
was
know
a
what
very
people are
good
complaining
spot.
about.
I thought it was
I
a good
loved
spot.
it. Let me know
I think.
what did you think, Vinny? Because I loved it.
Um. I mean, I liked it. I didn't think. I think people may have thought. I think the reason people may have thought it. I think they thought it was kind of too
Predictable.
predictable. Yeah. Although, you know what I love about Roman Reigns, the best thing is when he like starts laughing in that fake laugh
Oh, I love
and
that.
he
Yeah.
says, "You must be stupid." Like he just like the way he does that, like when he did it with The Rock in the ring,
Hmm.
and he's like basically, "This is your last chance," like you must be stupid. You
It's
must
funny because
like I love when he does.
Roman's such a great actor in the ring. He can't get
Yeah.
that laugh down. The man could
Yeah,
cry on the spot, but he
exactly.
can't get a laugh down. I
But
love it.
he's so
I love it.
but it's so cool when he does it though.
Yeah,
So,
it is. I will
um,
give you that.
but I didn't think there was anything wrong with it. I think people just thought maybe it was a little
Do
too
you think
predictable
do you think
for it.
people are just getting spoiled because of how great the Rock's
I
segments have
think
been? I
well,
think
I
that's the
think
case.
that, and I think that now we're starting to get to the end. We're at the end game, definitely, but we're getting towards the point where like, okay, what can you give me now? You got to
Mhm.
give me something better. You got to
Yeah.
give me something better, and you got to top it. And unfortunately, I don't know if they can top what they had before. I think
Well, and
you're
what
just gonna have to,
that's what kinda
little
concerns
steps,
me
little
for this
steps, you know?
upcoming week in Raw and SmackDown. I don't think either of them are supposed to be there, Rock or Roman.
No,
I think they're
no,
saving them for Monday Night Raw the following week because 'cause they're gonna be in
yeah,
Brooklyn. That's the final Raw before, WrestleMania. I'm very
mhm,
upset because I wanna be there and I can't because I have to work.
yeah.
But
Brooklyn's gonna be rocking
oh, yeah,
over
definitely.
there.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be fun
for
to
sure.
watch. But,
Yep.
um, it's interesting because, actually, no, I'm not working. I'm working the next day, so I still have to be back early. But
Yeah, you can't
I
make that trip all the way over there.
no,
Yeah,
because
so
'cause I'd have to be at work at 10 o'clock the next day. I'd have
yeah,
to travel overnight. I'm not doing that.
that
But,
ain't gonna work. That ain't
and
gonna
they're
work.
probably sold out by now anyway.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
Brooklyn.
yeah, yeah.
But
Of course.
anyway, I know I digress a little bit, but,
Yep.
I think that pretty much we've pretty much seen the last of The Rock until that Raw, because we haven't seen him promoted for any other shows. I don't think Roman's supposed to be on SmackDown this week. I could be wrong. So I guess your best thing you hope for is that Cody and Seth do something off the rails
Yeah,
that'll
yeah, because you're
make
not
for
gonna
a great
see,
segue for
and I
Monday.
think people are gonna get like, I think people are gonna be anxious now. They're gonna
Yes.
wanna see something, but they're not gonna see anything.
Yeah.
And
Which
it's
is
gonna
going to be a
build
little
and build,
frustrating.
but it's gonna be cool because it's gonna build up,
That
and
Monday Night Raw
then
is
you're
going to
gonna
be huge.
right, and then you're gonna see it build up to that point.
Yeah.
But, people just have to be,
A
let
little
them be
patient
patient. Yeah, just
because
be
I'm
patient.
going to tell you the utmost honest truth. This story, I am convinced is going past WrestleMania. No matter who
You think
wins,
so?
whether it's Cody or Roman, this is definitely going past WrestleMania because the fans are loving The Rock. He's on a hot streak. I know he's going to be out for a couple months because I know he's got a movie, but
Yeah.
you already have a perfect segue for Rock and Roman next year.
Mhm.
Um, if Cody wins, Roman's scheduled to be at SummerSlam. They're going to have a rematch because
Right,
that's in the clause.
right.
If you lose the title, it's an automatic
That's
rematch.
a long ways away to do a rematch, though.
Yeah, but
SummerSlam is like
they're
July
not going to put that
or
on a
August.
small pay per view like
Yeah, I know,
Backlash.
but
Like it
that's a
wouldn't make
long time to
sense.
wait for a rematch,
Yeah, but
though.
if you're the promoting
That's like
genius
6
like
months. That's
Triple
like,
H,
what, 4 months, 5
yeah, but
months?
you got to remember Triple H is a promoting genius. He can do it. He's done it. He's done it perfectly. I won't say perfectly, but he's done it great to this point. So whether that's when the rematch is, if there is a rematch, for all we know, there might not be. We'll have to wait and see. Um, the story to me is definitely going to go past WrestleMania. How? Not
Yeah.
entirely sure yet. That depends again on who wins.
So here's
Roman could still win.
the $1,000,000 question is when does the bloodline break up? totally
And I
break up.
think
I mean, like,
that's the
Heyman's
story.
gone,
That's the story that happens next.
Solo's gone,
Because
Jimmy's gone.
once Cody and Roman's story ends, then there's going to be that battle of who is really the tribal chief. Because Cody already
Does
kind
one
of
of them
alluded
have
to
to
that.
take the Does one of them have to take the title off of Cody, or does Cody stay
No, what I
champion
think happens,
here?
Cody wins his title, gets his rematch. Cody wins his rematch, whatever. Then there's going to be the question of allegiance. Is The Rock going to be the one who costs Roman the title, leading to the battle of who's the tribal chief? And then that's what leads to, where's the trust lie between Jimmy and Solo? Or do they want to take the tribal chief spot, put that spot up for grabs? There's a lot that could really happen here. And it's hard to say now because of how unpredictable WrestleMania is. You don't know who's going to win night one. Is WrestleMania going to be a fair match? Night two, is the Bloodline going to get involved? I think Roman and Rock win night one.
No, you almost have to have Bloodline because you've already announced Bloodline rules and everybody's.
You already have the allegiance of Jay and Seth.
You have to have Bloodline rules on Sunday.
Yes.
You have to have it. If you don't have it, then what's the sense in even saying it?
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, there's a million and one directions me and you could talk about. And somehow we're going to get thrown a 180. That's going to make it that much better.
Well, you've been right
most
with this Bloodline stuff. You've been right more than me. So I would probably go off what you say than what I say. Because,
well,
I don't
again,
know.
we'll see. That's the beauty of this story. And that's why
it's gonna be interesting.
That's why most of our episodes have been revolving around the Bloodline. Because there's just that much good stuff happening between them. And it's elevating.
Now,
everyone.
Here's the thing. Is it that, or is it because they can't find another storyline with anybody else?
What do you mean they can't
There's
find
nothing. There's nothing that interests anybody to the point
go that far because you still have Damage Control story, which we talked about, which is going to be interesting. Yeah. You still have Jay and Jimmy, which is it's taking a little while to progress.
But that still has Bloodline.
Yeah, but that's still
in it, though.
Outside of the main story, and that's still a huge match that
is
not being talked about enough.
Let's go outside of the Bloodline.
So then you have,
other than Damage Control, that was
you have Damage Control.
That was one.
You have to wait and see. Is John Cena going to get a match? Which is,
I'm not interested in seeing John Cena anymore.
Well,
I am not interested in seeing him anymore.
I'm talking about everybody.
I don't want to see him wrestle. I'm waiting on CM Punk. The injury to CM Punk,
he's going to be on Raw Monday. I forgot to mention that. Right. He's going to be on Raw Monday.
The injury to CM Punk threw so many wrenches into the whole thing.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. In my opinion, WWE's done a fantastic job making up for it.
Yes,
you can't deny that.
They have.
Because with The Rock coming back, that pretty much saved night one's main event. Because I'll be honest, I don't know how many people actually care about Seth and Drew anymore. Drew, to me, has become an afterthought. And it's weird because he has ties to the Bloodline story. So I don't.
Right.
It's weird. With Drew being a heel, what purpose he really brings to the story. We've seen Seth and Drew face 3 times already? Correct me if I'm wrong. 3 times, 4 times, whatever it's probably not 4 times, 2 times, 3 times, whatever. Right. So you have to admit, WWE's done a fantastic job because they've lost a lot. Not only they lose CM Punk, they have lost out on Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, which supposedly now there's rumors that Lesnar could still be there because they re-added him back to the roster.
Right.
So we could still see Brock Lesnar. I don't know how they go about that. I was kind of hoping actually on Raw during the contract signing, Brock's music was going to turn into a triple threat. I thought that would have been sick. But
did they clear him? Did they clear him from all that?
No, not yet. That's probably why.
I think that's why they.
But it's weird that all of a sudden now he's back on their roster and whatnot. So I don't know.
They're still investigating all that stuff.
We're still not sure what's happening.
But here's the point that I was trying to make. I guess maybe I should have just come out and said it. Outside of the Bloodline, take the Bloodline out of the WWE. What do you have?
Well, okay, so you have Gunther versus Sammy, which I think is going to.
But does that put people in seats?
Oh yeah, for Sami Zayn, if Gunther's title's on the line,
Well, how did Sami Zayn get to where he's at? Through what?
the Bloodline.
Okay. So I'm just saying,
I'm
like
confused by what you try.
they've run so many things through the bloodline.
Well, that's how big their story is,
But that's the thing is I want something else other than I want like nothing
and you
to
don't think you're
do.
not going to get that after WrestleMania?
I have a feeling. I'm just worried. That's all. I'm worried about
Well,
when they
you got to
break the
remember,
bloodline up
you got
and
to remember
everything's.
something too. There's more family members in the waiting. The
No, I
Bloodline,
know. I know.
the family's going nowhere because you have the Rock's daughter, whatever it is they're going to do with her.
Yeah, she doesn't I mean,
She's kind of falling off.
she's not really impressing me with what she's doing right now.
No, I
She's
don't
just
know.
basically making matches like somebody says, "I want a match," and she
Yeah,
goes, "You
and she,
got it." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay,
So
that's
we'll
not."
have to wait and see what they do with her. You have another younger brother of Solo. Solo's
Yeah,
obviously not going anywhere anytime soon.
right.
Um, Naya's not going anywhere. I know she's not technically in the
Yeah,
Bloodline
and she
story,
doesn't wanna
but she's in the family.
I know, but she doesn't wanna be a part of that.
Hmm.
She's already said she wants
Yeah,
to
she wants to
be
do her own thing.
our own thing.
So your fear might be there, but you got to remember they're not going anywhere. That family's going to run in WWE till the end of time.
I hope so, man. I hope, but I mean, it's a lot to rely on just one group to
But it's
kinda
worked
solidify.
since the start of WWE, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
From
but
Rocky
then
Johnson to
yeah, but you had, like,
the
Stone
Wild
Cold, you
Samoans to The
had
Rock to
I know,
Roman to
but
Umaga.
I know, but then you had, like, Stone Cold, you
Well,
had
yeah, you
other
had other
guys. You had Kurt
alternatives, but
Angle. Kurt Angle was the funniest guy. I mean, he was so
you got to
funny.
remember too. Look at how many people Roman Reigns elevated during his story. Jey Uso, the Usos.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say they were irrelevant before the Bloodline, but he definitely brought them to main event status. He brought Sami Zayn to main event status. You
Mhm.
know, you get the point. And yeah, now Cody Rhodes, who nobody
Yeah.
cared about until he came back to
It kinda just
WWE.
reminds me of, like, when, um when Evolution was around, and Evolution was, like, the whole
Hmm.
story around the
Yeah.
WWE. I didn't care about anything but Evolution.
Hmm.
And then once Evolution split up, it was like, what am I watching now, you know?
Hmm.
I just don't want it to get that way, I
Which
don't
I
want it
don't
to
think
get
it
that
will. Again, you gotta
way.
remember
I wanna
the Vince
see
McMahon days are gonna be very different from Triple H. And
I
if there's
know,
somebody
I
that
know.
knows how to build the roster up, it's gonna be Triple H.
Yeah, well, we'll
So
see. I
I
hope you're
have faith.
right. I hope
I
you're
have
right.
faith.
I hope you're right.
So we have one last segment. We're gonna shift gears actually, and I think this is the first time we're doing this. And this topic, I'm pretty much gonna let Vinny take
This
over.
is a wrestling show. We gotta
This
give,
we are still talking wrestling. We're
so
gonna switch gears to AEW a little bit. Vinny, I'll let you lead it. I'll let you take over.
so on I was looking at Ringside News and I saw something that kind of disturbed me a little bit. That I used to like this guy when he was in the WWE. Jake the Snake Roberts. You remember him, right?
Yes, of course.
He signed with AEW on the 24th. Now I don't know the extent of as to what he's going to be doing, whether he's going to be a manager and he probably will be. I don't think
Can't
anybody
have
wants to see him
wrestle.
back in the ring, right?
Although who would have thought Sting would still be wrestling?
That is true, and that's the thing I'm trying to get at is why is AEW? Why do they? I think we need to look at the bigger picture of AEW as a
Long term.
competitor, to WWE. It and I asked you this before we went on, is what makes uh good wrestling?
Hmm.
It's the people you have in charge,
Yes.
it's your storylines, but it's also if you have some kind of competition out there where you're kind of like maybe your wrestler's going to go here
Hmm.
and you don't want to lose them, so you want to kind of keep them involved, right? So I just without competition, if AEW does go down, which I will say everything, AEW has the worst narrative storylines I've ever seen.
Yes. They're about their
MJ,
extreme
I
matches.
believe I believe MJF is just wasting himself in AEW.
Hmm.
But if he's going to make all the money he's making in AEW, go for it.
Yeah.
I think
So
he
I'm
would
going
be
to ask
much
you this.
better. But them signing all these old guys Doesn't make sense to me.
And I want to ask you about this because actually I was talking about this a couple days ago with my dad. Now we're not regular AEW watchers. I mean, we'll tune in like every now and then to just see what's happening. And we turned it on last week. Y2J had a match, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think AEW can really sustain itself for much longer? Because
Not like this. No.
because of how many
course not.
veterans, WWE, they have the advantage of having a minor league system. That, of course, being going from the Performance Center to NXT to then
That's what AEW
WWE.
does not have.
AEW
do
does not have that.
They don't have a good like up and coming system
like
where
like a farm system.
and Triple H said it before. You know who he goes after? He
Young
goes
guys.
after those guys that aren't going to make it to the NFL, that
Mhm.
aren't going to make it to the NBA, that aren't
Mhm.
going to make those wrestlers that maybe,
Yeah.
the the college wrestlers, those guys, those big athletes.
Mhm.
He goes after those guys.
Well, and you know what's
gals.
smart about that too is it's funny. Before The Rock came back, or when The Rock came back, one of the key things Seth Rollins has said, this is our time. We're not going to let you steal it. That's the big difference between WWE and AEW. WWE builds for the future,
Right.
where it seems as AEW is just trying to save failed WWE projects.
They
I hate to
lost
put it
their
that
best
way,
guy. Kenny Omega got hurt and they lost him.
Mhm.
He was one of the biggest draws of that whole group.
Well, do you think one of the biggest things too that's killed AEW is CM Punk?
He kind of screwed them on the way out. I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, I'll admit that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like CM Punk. I just think he pretty much like threw a
Well, that's why I didn't want him back
Molotov.
in
He threw a
WWE.
Molotov cocktail on that place.
Yeah. Well, that's why I didn't want him back in WWE.
But I mean, the fact that they don't have Britt Baker, who's one of their best wrestlers,
yeah,
on a major card,
she's actually my favorite.
major card, I don't know what they're doing with her. They're wasting her too. She needs to go to, and she's
she was
dating
one of their biggest names. She was bringing in
dating Adam
outsiders.
Cole, which is why she's not going to leave AEW.
Yeah, she's not going to go to WWE.
And Adam Cole's getting up there too.
They revolve anything around her is when they're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that's literally it.
Yeah. And I love Britt Baker's thing. DMD, I love that, man. That's great.
Steelers, by the way.
That's great stuff. I mean, the Britt Baker stuff is always great, but and then they, Omarosa was like, I don't know, she's doing Busted Open now.
Mm-hmm.
She was good too, but she's the type that wouldn't go to WWE because she can't have control.
Yeah.
And she's like kind of crazy. Like she's definitely one of those types of people that, and I think that's why MJF stays too, is because they have more control over their storyline.
Same with Moxley too.
And Moxley
that was
too.
The big thing that
Moxley again though is getting up there in age, and he's looking a little stiff too. If you watch some of his matches, and he doesn't look as good. I mean, obviously he's not going to look as good, but
he's also a lot bigger than he used to be.
He is a lot bigger.
He used to be this scrawny little lunatic that we all loved.
But he was always.
But then remember when he came back,
he was always a good wrestler. He was always a good wrestler.
Remember when he came back from injury, and the man was jacked. I'll never forget his return. How crazy he looked.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And being jacked doesn't always lead to being a good wrestler either. It just means you're more powerful. You're not as,
Yeah, well, because then you're changing your style of wrestling, which doesn't always work out well.
But I mean, like they had a little run. Like AEW gets little bits and pieces. Like when Edge went over there, and then you had Edge and Christian are going to team up again.
And then,
but that's old stuff, though.
We've seen that,
and I know they changed it where Edge versus Christian. And they kind of changed it up
before too.
Yeah, but we've seen that before too. So, they have to. They signed Big Show, and that didn't work out. He's an announcer for them now.
Yeah, Samoa Joe.
They thought he was.
It's a miracle he hasn't gotten hurt.
I'm surprised Samoa Joe is still, and I love Samoa Joe. I met Samoa Joe. Great guy.
I think one of the biggest missed opportunities actually during Roman Reigns' title run would have been a rivalry with Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, right?
Because Samoa Joe is a guy who always had his number.
Love Samoa Joe.
I thought that would have been sick, but we never got
Samoa Joe. By the way, MJF versus Samoa Joe. I love that match in AEW. That was a great match. MJF lost the title to Samoa Joe.
Do you think?
So
this
But
could also be sort of a case because I see too the empty arenas that they're
yeah,
performing in. Do
that's
you
big.
think also there's a possibility AEW might have just peaked a little too early?
Well, yeah, yeah, they did. They did for sure. They did for
Hmm.
sure. They had a lot of like when I think Cody left for a reason,
Yeah.
and I think this might have been the reason exactly. And
Hmm.
I'm sure he's looking back with his wife now and saying, "It's a good thing I left,"
Yeah.
because he's looking at what's going on now, and he's going, "I made the right choice." Because right now AEW is a shell of what it started out
Hmm.
as.
And
I
you
mean, you
can't
had
say COVID was an excuse because they were better than
yeah,
ever
no,
when they came
you
back
had
from
you
COVID.
had whole arenas, full arenas
Yeah.
singing Chris Jericho's
Oh, I
song.
love that song. I love that before
Yeah,
he used
I
that.
mean, it was amazing. It was what got me to first watch their show.
Hmm.
And now it's like I try to watch every week, but it's kind of a
See,
hard watch
it
though.
goes to show
Other than
too.
Sting retiring, I had to watch the Sting retirement.
Mhm.
I wanted to see that.
It was cool that WWE
That was
shouted him out.
that was very cool. I'm glad WWE let some of the guys go at least, but
Yeah.
not be on camera.
Mhm.
That was great.
See, you know what
That shows a lot of class on the WWE side.
you know what's interesting, and I don't think Vince would have ever allowed that too.
No, he
No.
wouldn't have. He would not
But
have. He
I
would
will
not
say
have.
this, the big difference between WWE and AEW from what I've noticed from the bit of AEW I have watched, it goes to show just how important storyline
Mhm.
means so much more than
Storyline
just
is
good
huge.
matches.
Eric Bischoff said it best too.
I'd
Without a
rather have
storyline, you could have the greatest wrestlers in the world.
mhm.
You won't have a promotion.
Well, and
You
let
won't
me
have a
put it to you
promotion.
like this. I would much rather have a great story and an okay match than a
Mhm.
great match with no story.
Right?
One example, I had a friend tell me this. I don't necessarily agree with him because I'm a little biased, but
Mhm.
I'll say it anyway. He said The Rock versus Hogan, great
Mhm.
build up,
Yep.
not a great match.
Well, you got to
I
remember
disagree, but
where those two wrestlers were in their careers too.
that's but
That's
the point
you
I'm
got to
trying to
take that
make
into right. You got to
the
take that
point I'm
into
trying to make
consideration.
is story meant everything.
Mhm.
You didn't have to have a great match
Right. Right.
for it to
Because
be a legendary
even
moment.
even Hogan in his prime wasn't a great wrestler.
Yeah.
He was built up to be the American hero.
Mhm.
And it was a character. It was a cartoon character, bro.
Yeah. A
People
lot of
don't
them guys
understand
were.
what the 80s was, man. The 80s was cartoons, bro. It was selling toys. How
Yeah.
many toys can you sell? Like, it was never about how good a wrestler you are. If that was the case, Bob Backlund would have been the greatest champion we ever saw because Bob Backlund was the best wrestler back then.
Yes.
He could out wrestle anybody.
Mhm.
But then you had to have the Iron Sheik and George the Animal Steel, and you had to have Sergeant Slaughter
The Ultimate
because they were
Warrior.
cartoons, bro. It was like that way. And I hated it. I mean, I didn't
You
hate
hated
it at
it,
the
but you
time.
loved it.
I hated it, but I loved it because I was a kid. They sold to kids. Then the Attitude Era, that was different.
Yeah, then it took a 180.
Then it took a 180. And then we have what we have today. But you have to have both. You have to have a storyline. I think you have to have a little bit of both. I think
Mhm.
you have to have a storyline and a good match at least.
Yeah,
I don't
at least
I
an
don't think you
okay
can have
match. It doesn't
I
have to
don't think you
be
can I don't think you can have like a bad storyline and an okay match. That
oh,
wouldn't
yeah,
be
no,
good.
that's a recipe for failure, but
You're gonna fail.
storyline is everything.
But the
I
way
I
but
will
the
die by that.
I will say the best person on the mic today, I won't even hesitate, is in 80 AEW. It's MJF. He's the
Mhm.
greatest.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I won't and I would love to see him and The Rock go at it on the
Oh, what
mic
a promo that would be.
because if you gave MJF the freedom that they give him in AEW, remember the way he tore Punk down?
Yes.
Oh,
Never forget his own pipe bomb.
oh, just put him and The Rock together, bro. And
Yeah.
I'd pay for I will take you. If that ever happens, we were going.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
Whether it's in, Tokyo,
I don't care
New
where it is.
York.
We're going because that's going to be the best promos you'll ever see ever.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
anyway, so I'm off my soapbox on AEW because
Mhm. Yeah, but
I don't think
we
they
did
can
wanna
survive.
we did want to get that out there pretty much
Yeah.
because we want to show
We're a
we are more
wrestling
than
show for all wrestling fans.
yes.
Whether you're AEW, WWE, we
And if you
tend to go
have
WWE more.
if you
But if you
guys
have,
have
yeah,
AEW topics you want us to talk about, let us know.
yeah,
Let us know. We'll
yeah,
be
sure.
happy
I
to
watch AEW every week, man.
yeah.
I'm always there, and only because like I feel
If
like
you guys
we have to get both sides.
yeah, so
You
if
know.
you guys want it, I'll watch. Vinny, I know already watches.
Mhm.
We're willing to do what we can for you
Yeah,
guys. That's why we do this.
I try to set my time aside for both AEW and WWE to give AEW fans a little bit of, because I know there's some of them out there that
Hmm.
don't like the WWE.
Yes,
And since we call ourselves a pro wrestling podcast,
got to be
you
fair.
gotta be fair to, and even if you guys want to get into New Japan, I'll be happy to get into New Japan,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
So
We will try. So with that being said, I
we've
have
gone an
one.
hour.
Yes, we have, and you know what? The magic hour is complete, but we do have one big announcement for you guys.
Yes, the big announcement.
So obviously WrestleMania is now what, a week and a half away at the
Week and a
time
half
of
away.
recording. We have decided before we went on the air, we want to do something special for you guys with WrestleMania right around the corner. After both nights of WrestleMania and moving forward with all pay-per-views, I am calling them pay-per-views, don't correct me.
They're PLEs. Triple H would be, you're calling
Bring
them
it.
wrong.
Bring it.
What are you doing?
After every pay-per-view, we will be going live for a post-show reaction.
You know what I want to
And
do?
and we might even get an actual face reveal.
Yeah, we may.
From Vinny.
We may.
So I wanted to get that out there because with this being such a big WrestleMania, with this being one of the
Well, you
best
see my
times,
face on the picture, so just
yeah, but we need a real face reveal. They don't know that's what you look like.
old man face.
But with so much happening, we wanted to get you reactions a lot quicker and as soon as possible. So what better way to do it than after every pay-per-view going live? And it's going to start after night one of WrestleMania. You will get our reaction. I wouldn't say immediately. It might take us a couple minutes to obviously prepare within the half hour after the show. I think that's a fair time, between shows because obviously everybody's still going to be on Twitter, tweeting and whatnot. People are going to be talking. So you want to talk wrestling with us, you join us live after every pay-per-view from here on, and we will be here for it. So Vinny, do you want to add anything to that? Or
Yes, I want to add, if ever we get credentials to ever, press credentials for WWE or AEW, WWE, AEW, whatever, for wrestling.
You can tell we think big.
I want to see you tell Triple H to his face that it's a pay-per-view, not a PLE. And I want to see his reaction. I want to get that on video. I want to even get him on the show and say, "Hey, Mr. Levesque," and I would call him Mr. Levesque because I have that much respect
I would too.
for Triple H.
Mr. Levesque, I am paying to watch this. Therefore, it is
I
a
will
pay-per-view.
say this gentleman that usually sits next to me if we're doing a show. Well, he calls your premium live events pay-per-views. What do you say about that? And I want to see him bust you up.
Oh, I can't wait because I'm gonna tell
only Triple H can.
If I am paying to watch your show, which technically I'm gonna be doing for Raw too eventually, it is a pay-per-view.
Yeah, but you're not paying per view. You're paying a
I'm paying
subscription
to
cost.
watch. I only have Peacock for wrestling.
But it's a premium channel and it's a live event. So premium live event.
I'm ready for it, guys.
I get where Triple H.
I want to have this debate with Triple H now.
Yes, Triple H. And I will say one of the other best people on the mic, and people always made fun of him, was Triple H. I'm sorry. He was very good in doing promos.
Yes.
Whether he was a heel or whether he was in DX with Shawn Michaels doing goofy stuff, it was the greatest. So I want to put that out there because I'm a huge Triple H
guys. If you want it, make it happen for us. Yep. We love you. We appreciate you. So again, one last time, for every pay-per-view, we will be going live for a live reaction within about a half hour after the show. You won't want to miss it. First time we'll be doing it will be night one, WrestleMania. We'll do it both nights, WrestleMania weekend. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. Until then, remember, guys, next time you could see us will be Saturday at 7:15. We will be live streaming the Yankees-Astros matchup. Saturday night game of the week. We're going to be doing one live stream a week
A lot of
for
stuff going on
game.
SNV Sports.
We got a lot of stuff happening. We're glad to be back. We apologize for being away. Vinny, you have one last
there
thing?
There may not be an NFL, but I want to put this out there to everybody. Live stream night of the draft. Do we want to do it? Do we not want to do it? I want to know.
Yes, let us know if you want it.
Let us
If you
know.
want to make it happen, we will definitely try to make it happen.
Now, I'm no Mel Kiper, so I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know.
Yes. If not, even if we don't get a draft live stream, we will be doing NFL live streams down the line. Hopefully, maybe some wrestling streams down the line. That is a little tough because that is something I kind of dedicate to family time, but
yeah,
we'll work that out in time. But again, guys, like, comment, subscribe. This has been SNV Sports. Thank you all for tuning, Vinny. I'm glad to have you back. Glad we're
good to be back,
doing well.
Good to be back.
And we will see you guys Saturday. Thank you and have a great night.